When did you talk about that? That just sounds mind-blowing.
As I said, genes make proteins, and proteins are responsible for the structure and function of your body. The expression of proteins is the expression of life. So react and respond to conditions that cause you to feel the emotions of survival. Your reaction or your response to that condition, to that challenge, will actually weaken your body if you keep doing it over and over again. Stress consumes enormous amounts of energy for the body. So the repetition of that begins to downregulate genes and create disease. And so if you can turn on the stress response just by thinking about that problem, your thoughts could make you sick. So the question is, can your thoughts make you well? And so we said to people, okay, trade resentment and impatience and frustration for an elevated emotion like gratitude or appreciation, kindness, and care. We'll hook you up to a heart rate monitor. We want to make sure that your heart is coherent so we know that you're actually feeling these emotions. And we're gonna measure an immunoglobulin called immunoglobulin A, which is really the primary defense against bacteria and virus in your body. It's the body's natural flu shot. And it's suppressed when cortisol levels go up because stress hormones shut down the immune system. So could a person then create an elevated emotion, and the body is so objective that it does not know the difference between a real life experience that's creating that emotion and the emotion that that person is fabricating by thought alone. To the body, it's the unconscious mind, it's the same. So if the person feels the elevated emotion, will they begin to signal new genes that will make new proteins? And we discovered that that particular immunoglobulin A went up by 50% in the subjects that we measured. So feeling elevated emotions causes the body to upregulate genes and allow the immune system to repair and regenerate. Now, that study was our first study, but when we started looking at the plasma of advanced meditators, right around the time COVID happened, in some of our first experiments that we did with the University of California, San Diego, we had all this plasma, and they closed the lab down and closed the university down, and the lab was minimized. But we had all this great plasma from advanced meditators, so there was a little bit of time, so we just started messing around with creating a pseudovirus like a SARS-CoV-2 virus. And we picked the first subject, and we did what's called an adoptive transfer. We used his plasma and put the pseudovirus near an ACE2 receptor, which would, what the spike virus attaches to. And we discovered that there was an immunity in the plasma of the advanced meditator where the virus could not enter the cell, like it was like stuck on the outside of the cell. We saw that in novice meditators, there were some that were stuck to the outside of the cell and others that made it into the cell. And then we saw with the controls that they all were in the cell. And so we went through a series of scientific experiments, and we isolated that it was a protein. And then we isolated the exact protein that the body and advanced meditators make, and it's called SERPINA5. And if you look online for SERPINA5, it'll tell you that it has a profound effect against the SARS-CoV-2 virus. And so the plasma of advanced meditators were naturally creating an elevated level of SERPINA5 that inhibited the virus from entering the cells. In other words, the body is greater than the environment. And so we've replicated the study a few times, and we see the same outcomes.